Okay, I want to ask a few questions that our listeners wrote in specifically for you. Kara from Phoenix asks, will either side accept the election results if the other side wins?
Joe Biden said last night without hesitation that he will accept the results of the election. And if he's defeated, he will concede at the appropriate time. And if he wins, he would hope the same from Trump. Donald Trump, on the other hand, told us again last night, as he has several times before, that he will not accept the results of the election at face value because he's already projecting that if he loses, it's because it's rigged.
Erica from Seattle asks, are Antifa and the Proud Boys equally dangerous?
They are, but for different reasons and in different respects. Keep in mind, and while this was one of those moments on the stage last night that kind of got lost in translation because Trump kept having his excited utterances at what Biden said without recognizing and understanding what Biden had said. Biden made the point that Antifa is not an organization; it's an idea, it's a philosophy, it's what people. There's no structure to it. And that's not Joe Biden saying that. That's Donald Trump's own Justice Department that has said that about Antifa. So they are dangerous as an idea. Anyone who resorts to violence, anyone who feels that the only way they can communicate change in this country is by violent means, is a threat to the nation. I don't care if you're on the left. I don't care if you're on the right. I don't care if you wrap yourselves in Easter bunnies. You are still a threat to the foundational principles of the country. So whether you're Antifa or poor boys or whatever you are, that's the situation. You put yourself in league with terrorist organizations, should be ordained as such, deemed as such by our criminal justice system, and prosecuted appropriately. So that's, for me, this is not even a question to debate. So if Antifa decides to show up at a rally, even in support of, Black Lives Matter and civil rights and civic justice, but commits acts of hate and commits acts of violence, hey, baby, welcome to the cell, because that's where you're going.
Okay, two more. One more, and then one that I'm not going to make you answer, but I'm going to ask anyway. Brian from Charlotte asks, was it a mistake for Biden not to hit back at Trump last night?
No, I don't think so. Because, sometimes, and it goes back to when you were in school, and you and I've actually kind of talked about this before, about the bully, right? Mm-hmm. You were bullied as a young boy. Mm-hmm. I was bullied as a young boy, right? And sometimes that moment comes when the bully overplays his hand. Mm-hmm. And all the other kids on the schoolyard, for the first time in some cases, realize this guy's a real a-hole. This guy is a real jerk. This guy is a bully. And the reason they realize it is how you took your stand.
Right.
You took your stand and you said, this far, no further with your kind, right? You didn't have to raise your fist. You didn't have to cuss him out. You just stood your ground. And that's essentially what Joe Biden did after that moment where he told him, would you shut up? You can see his whole demeanor change from there on and how he approached Donald Trump. He realized, oh, I get what you're doing. As my mama used to say, you'll appreciate this as a good old Southern boy like myself. My mama used to say, now don't you go out there and show your ass.
Yes.
You know
Trump
exactly what she was saying, right?
Ass. Yes.
You know exactly what she was telling you, right?
Yes.
So, and Donald Trump did that last night. In fact, I tweeted that out. I said, America, tonight our president showed his ass.
Yes, I understood that exactly. Completely.
And that's exactly what happened. And the country saw it. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I think Joe Biden did the right thing. He didn't need to fight him. He didn't need to get in the, because he's learned. I mean, we saw what happened to Marco Rubio when you do that, right?
I thought his response, honestly, to Hunter Biden's, to Trump's attacks on his son and his fight with drug addiction was incredibly poignant, specifically to your point, because it was raw, it was real. And he said, my son has struggled with this, Like many other people, many of you who are watching have family members who have struggled with drug addiction. He has combated it, and I'm really proud of him. And I thought that could not have been a better response, because it was exactly what you said. It was letting people see Trump for what he was, a bully.
Hey, Clay, here's the typical irony with Donald Trump.
He didn't know it.
What? No. But better than that, what was his brother's problem?
Oh, yeah.
He was an alcoholic.
Well,
right?
He doesn't see these things. He doesn't think about that. And he also doesn't think about the fact that what he did and how Joe responded just made him look worse. And I don't think he
right. So, he cast these aspersions on people, and those of us who've known him and have watched him, especially over the last, it's projection. When Donald Trump says something negative about you, it's typically he's projecting what he thinks about himself or something that's personal to him. So when he goes after Joe Biden's son for his addiction issues, he's projecting the addiction issues he had to deal with in his own family. I mean, his niece shared a lot of that storyline with us, his own sister. So we know what the man is. And I think the country for the first time saw a president who was not only unhinged, but was incompetent to sit behind the resolute desk. And it doesn't matter anymore, Clay, whether you get a tax cut, or you like the regulatory reform, or, gee, I really am an Amy Comey Barrett fan. Doesn't matter anymore, because at the end of the day, that individual behind that desk is an extension of us.
Hey, I'm Clay Aiken. To hear the full episode, subscribe to This Politicon podcast on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to pods. Please subscribe, rate, and review the show. Go to Politicon.com, follow @Politicon on social media, and listen to a new pod episode of How the Heck every Thursday.